is your first time to my channel, welcome. I just returned back from a 6-month road trip all over the US and Canada, and on that trip I visited 20 national parks, and that is what I'm going to talk about today. I kind of just felt up for the challenge, and yes, it was a challenge, of arranging each park I visited from my least favorite to my favorite. And it is so hard to do. It was very painful. I really wanted to gush over some of my favorite parks. All of these places are amazing. Interestingly enough, the United States has 59 national parks, and I have only visited 30% of them, which is so crazy to me. Gotta keep going. And of the 47 national parks in Canada, I visited 2. They're not hard to get to from the US, so I definitely wanted to include them, especially because I enjoyed them very, very much. With that being said, let's get started. Number 19 and 20, I'm cheating because, again, I love all of the parks. I enjoyed my time in all of them. But number 19 and number 20 are parks that I went to and basically could not spend any time in. Number 20 is Canyonlands National Park in Utah. I had spent my entire day at, I think, Arches National Park and decided to go drive into Canyonlands because it was right there. I was exhausted and tired and didn't make time to go. So I'm gonna just put it at the very bottom. I'm not saying it's not beautiful because it is gorgeous, and I would love to go back and explore it, but I'm just putting it at number 20 because I'm a cheater. Number 19 is Crater Lake National Park in Oregon. Again, I drove into Crater Lake during one of the worst wildfires of the year, which was in Oregon, but I really wanted to go. I really want to see Crater Lake, so I thought I'm gonna just do it. I'm driving past it anyway, and of course, this was my view. Very sad indeed. Now on to the juicy stuff. Number 18, Hot Springs National Park in Arkansas. So technically, this is my least favorite park. It is also the oldest national park, as well as the smallest national park, and in an urban area. It was my first week on the road. So excited, wide-eyed, happy little camper. And I'm like looking for this national park, cannot find it anywhere. So I go into a business and I'm like, where's Hot Springs National Park? I was in it. Very unique experience, definitely not what I think of. I go to national parks to go camping or hiking, and this just wasn't that. I still very much enjoyed my time there, and it was very cute. Yeah, probably my least favorite. One really awesome thing about going there, however, was getting to fill up my water jug with some immaculate tasting water. So, thumbs up on the H2O. Number 17 is Lassen Volcanic National Park, a park I had never heard of, but I happened to be in the area and decided to spend a day driving through it. It's in California. It has a lot of kind of the Yellowstone aspects where it has active volcanoes, so you can go see. I did have a really nice hike in the park and enjoyed my drive through it. It was very beautiful, but comparatively, I can see why it's not the most popular. Number 16 is Great Smoky Mountains National Park. You have these rolling hills, technically mountains, I suppose, but you have all of these trees, and it's very wet, and there's lots of waterfalls, and it's very, very beautiful. Again, I'm not hating just because it's third to the bottom. It includes about 800 miles of hiking trails, including 70 miles of the Appalachian Trail, which I did go and see while I was there. But I had a hard time finding hikes while I was there that suited my preferences. And that's why it's not one of my favorites, but it is very, very beautiful. Number 15 is Joshua Tree. I loved Joshua Tree. I only spent a day. It's very unique, very, very special place. The only reason why it's kind of lower on this list is because I do not rock climb or boulder or anything like that, and I think if I was going with a group of people who enjoyed that, I would have more to do there. Number 14 is Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. Another absolutely gorgeous park. It is a very beautiful area. Estes Park is the town right outside, which is super fun. Really, really lovely. My roommate Jenny is cleaning and hammering away, so if you hear anything, that's Jenny. You want to say hi, Jenny? No. Okay. Rocky Mountain National Park. Definitely one of the more highly trafficked parks. The reason it's kind of lower on this list is because, again, comparatively, there were a few parks, the Black Canyon of the Gunnison in Colorado in particular, or Mesa Verde National Park. I would have rather gone to those parks instead, but I did not because of reasons I won't get into. But still, absolutely stunning. It was the last park that I visited on the trip, and ending on that note was very, very lovely. I'm not hating. Please, don't take it this way. I'm sorry. Number 13. This was hard too because between 13 and 14, I kept mishmashing, switching. I don't know. But number 13 was the Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. I was so pleasantly surprised. I ended up driving through to pick up my friend Leah from the airport because she was staying in Yellowstone with me. It was just such a pleasant surprise to arrive at this park, and I was sort of regretful that I wasn't staying in that park versus Yellowstone because it is just so beautiful. And we did have a nice hike while we were there, and it was absolutely gorgeous. They have a very high bear population, which I just think is really exciting. Number 12 is Banff, the first Canadian park on this list, or Banff. Can't say it right. Very large, highly trafficked. Fun fact, the town of Banff is actually the highest town in Canada, which is very cool. So yes, you are very high up. You are surrounded by mountains. It is very gorgeous. You have the little towns as well, which were very cute. I didn't really feel like I fit in while I was there. It felt very preppy to me, which just isn't my style, but I still enjoyed my hikes there. One of my all-time favorite hikes was in Banff. I was just pretty purposeful about it not making it into the top 10, even though I had a really, really lovely time there. And that's the same case with number 11, which is Yellowstone. Again, a massive park that is super, super trafficked. A lot of people's favorite parks. I really enjoyed Yellowstone. I had an amazing few days there. My friend was with me. We camped in the park, got to see so much wildlife. And I think that's the redeeming factor for me with Yellowstone, is just the number of animals you get to see, because I am such an animal lover, and any chance I have to see animals in their natural habitat is just really, really special. And then of course their geothermal areas and their geysers, everything is very entertaining, very interesting. The thing that really bugged me about Yellowstone was the size, the fact that I had to drive so far to get everywhere. If I could go back and do it again, I would have booked a new campsite every night and, worked my way up through the park. But, that's not fun to have to tear down a campsite and build a campsite multiple times either. It was so big, it was so crowded, very family oriented, a lot of kids. It just kind of felt annoying to me, even though, again, I had some really wonderful memories in Yellowstone and I do love it, but I was very purposeful about it not making my top 10, because I feel like my top 10, I shouldn't be complaining. With that being said, number 10, Mammoth Cave National Park in Kentucky. Fun fact, longest known cave system in the world at Mammoth Cave. That's why it's a mammoth cave. So this is a very hidden gem in my opinion, one that is not visited often at all. They get about 580,000 visitors annually, which comparatively to the other parks is not a lot. I really enjoyed my time there. I only spent a day there, but I would go back in a heartbeat. Very not stressful place to visit, because I think people go there for the caves. Granted, they have hiking trails, but I go there for the purpose of doing a cave tour and then I'm done. And I think more people should check it out. Number 9 is Badlands National Park. It's a much larger park than I realized. When I was there, I felt as though it was very small because I stayed on the loop road, but there's actually a lot more to explore, so I would love to do more of a backpacking experience in the Badlands. While I was there, I did see a lot of wildlife, which was amazing. Again, I love the opportunity to see wildlife, and the hikes were quite awesome. Between 9 and 8, I was flippy floppy again, but number 8 is the Everglades in Florida. I spent a full day there. Again, wildlife, alligators. I mean, they have panthers as well, but of course, I don't think people come across those very often. But I really enjoyed the Everglades because it was so unique. Again, not a park that is visited often, but it was by far the largest park that I visited in the US. I would love to go back and do more of that backcountry experience, which is so scary, but like, I want to see snakes and snakes. I saw lots of gators, but I want to see some snakes. Number 7 is Olympic National Park in Washington. When I was in Washington, everything was on fire. There were wildfires in Oregon and California and Canada and Montana, and it was so smoky, so unfortunately I could not see the mountains while I was in Olympic National Park, but I've seen photos, so I guess that is part of my judgment. Is I would love to go back and get the mountain experience. But the thing that I really enjoyed about Olympic was the rainforests. It was such a unique experience for me and just so incredibly beautiful. It has one of the, I'm gonna butcher this, one of the least noise polluted areas in the world. I would love to go back and experience it when you can see the sky. That would be really great. And I'm gonna cheat again, flippy floppy, but number 6 and number 5 I'm combining together because they are neighbors. You really can't go to one without the other. It's the truth. Number 6 is Arches National Park in Utah. Arches National Park, surprisingly enough, has 2,000 natural sandstone arches. I really enjoyed my hiking experience while I was there. Number 5. Bryce Canyon, one of the smallest parks that I visited, but still relatively popular. It's known for their hoodoos, which I didn't know what a hoodoo was going into this, and now I do. And they're really cool. I'm a hoodoo hugger. Really, really magical, special place. It just transported me and made me feel like I was in a, I don't know, like a fairy kingdom. All right, top 4. Number 4 is Waterton Lakes National Park in Canada, the only national park to cross over a country border, which I will get to in a little bit. Don't want to spoil anything, but Waterton Lakes is a very small park in Canada, not visited too often, but just so adorable, so beautiful. It's got like a little town in it that I really enjoyed. Everyone was so friendly, and it's just a really lovely, quiet way to experience the Canadian Rockies versus going up to Banff, for instance. Lots of wildlife. One of my all-time favorite hikes I did in Waterton Lakes, which made the list of 20 most thrilling hikes in the world by National Geographic, so that's what brought me there. Beautiful, very quaint, very, very cute, and they've got something for everybody. Number 3 is Acadia National Park in Maine. I loved Acadia. I had some of the most memorable experiences while I was there. Not only did I experience one of my favorite hikes of the trip, which was the Beehive Trail, I also got to watch the first sunrise in the United States because they have a mountain. Oh yes, Acadia also has the tallest mountain on the East Coast. So upon that mountain, you can go up there and watch the sun and be the first group of people in the US to see the sun that day, which was the most amazing sunrise I've ever seen. I encourage you to go watch all of my Acadia videos because I had such a great time there. It was so, so stunning. Between 2 and 3, again, it was a very tough call, but I'm gonna say my second favorite park is Zion National Park in Utah. The thing about Zion is the plethora of more thrilling options. I really enjoyed using their shuttle service, which allowed the experience to feel a little bit more, I guess, protected. They really care about protecting the land, and I sensed that while I was there, and it just made me respect it even more. And then you don't have traffic and cars and stuff, which you definitely had at, say, Yellowstone, for instance. Ugh. Zion has 4 ecosystems. I can't list them for you, but I know that they have 4 ecosystems. One of my all-time favorite hikes, Angel's Landing, was there. Definitely a life-changing experience for me. I think they have a lot of very phenomenal options for hiking, which is what I care about most. To anyone who knows me, they already know this answer, but my number 1, my all-time favorite national park, still to this day, is Glacier National Park. Yay. In Montana. Glacier National Park is a place that is very near and dear to my heart. It is known for having one of the greatest drives in America, the Going to the Sun Road, which it is an amazing drive. I've done it many, many times at this point. But I love Glacier National Park because, well, first of all, it's pretty big. I don't know, it doesn't overwhelm me. Like, some of the bigger parks overwhelmed me. It has 26 glaciers and 130 lakes. I got to swim in a glacier while I was there. Grinnell Glacier, if you're curious. Go watch my video. I've seen moose, I've seen bears. They have nice accommodations, beautiful campsites, beautiful hotels, actually decent restaurants compared to all the other places I visited. You know, national parks, you don't go for the food, but Glacier, I actually felt like their options weren't so bad. But it's mostly just the hikes. Can't wait to go backpacking in Glacier. That's definitely a big bucket list item for me. And just being in these snow-capped mountains, and the air out there is just so fresh. The wildflowers are just gorgeous. The swimming, some of the best swimming I've ever had in my entire life happened in Glacier. And it's just, I don't know, it's a very purifying place in my opinion. It was the place that inspired my 6-month road trip. I went to Montana about 2 years ago and realized that I needed to explore the country. So I got to go back again, and I can't wait to, and I can't wait to return over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I love the place so much. And Glacier is attached to Waterton Lakes, which I mentioned earlier. So you can drive like 30 minutes across the border and then you're in Waterton Lakes, which again, I absolutely love that park as well. So just the Northern Rockies in general, I'm really, really into. I really love everything about it. That is the list of the 20 parks I visited, from my least favorite to my most favorite. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, what's your favorite park, and if any of the snippet videos that I have put into this have intrigued you and you want to know more, I will be linking my National Parks playlist to the end of this video. So I encourage you to go explore with me and experience some of the best hikes I got to do, and animals I got to see, and adventures I had. Just go check them out if you feel like going down the rabbit hole, because it's a very fun rabbit hole. So, okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Like I said, comment below. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Let's talk about it. Give this video a thumbs up, and again, don't forget to go and watch my national park videos, my hiking videos, all of my road trip videos. It was an amazing trip. All right, talk to you guys soon. I love ya. Bye.